place is because he got in trouble for poaching deer in Charlcote Park, which was the nearby
Also, what does
land.
poaching mean?
Poaching is essentially you're illegally hunting animals. So everyone in the early modern period, most deer, either it belonged to the king and it was on his estates, or it belonged to the estates of very wealthy nobles, basically. So normal, ordinary people weren't allowed to kill them because they belonged to someone else. So there's a myth that Shakespeare was illegally killing those deer. We don't know. There's no real record for it, but that's one of them.
But that was John, not William.
That was William.
Oh, that was.
But John, yeah, we don't think we've got nothing about him illegally poaching or anything, but we do know for certain he was illegally trading with wool. In the early modern period, you're required to have a license, essentially, to trade in wool, and you're supposed to pay taxes on whatever money you're earning. John Shakespeare did not have a license, and he was not paying taxes. So he was basically, all of that money he was making, he was just pocketing.
Also, why would you have to do that for wool?
For wool, essentially it's a very, very big business in the early modern period. Especially here, we're quite close to the Cotswolds, which was the sort of southwest portion of England, and there were lots and lots of sheep there, so it was very big for wool. So essentially, if you wanted to do any trade in the early modern period, you know, if you wanted to make gloves, if you wanted to be a tailor, if you wanted to be a baker, you had to be a member of the guild of whatever trade that you were trying to do. Essentially, so people know that you're official, that you're trading to the correct standards, you know, that you're not making and selling subpar goods. And it basically just sort of protects both the people who are buying the stuff and the people who are making and selling the stuff. So if you weren't a member of whatever guild that you wanted to be doing, you'd basically get in a lot of trouble. So the wool, that's an extension of that essentially. So having that license and being part of the wool merchants guild meant that you were allowed to do it. So for example, John Shakespeare, he might have some leather left over at the end of the day from making gloves. He might choose to make a pair of shoes for one of his children perhaps, but he couldn't make shoes and sell them because he's not a cobbler, he's a glove maker. He can make and sell gloves, he can't make and sell shoes, or clothes, or bread, if he felt the need to